For centuries, explorers across the Arctic and the Saharan sands reported seeing something impossible: shimmering cities floating in the sky, complete with towers, battlements, and golden walls. They called them lost cities, and some even died trying to reach them. But these aren't hallucinations, and they aren't magic. They're masterpieces of atmospheric theater known as the Fata Morgana. Named after the Arthurian sorceress Morgan Le Fay, this rare optical phenomenon can bend light so perfectly that it pulls images from hundreds of miles away and projects them onto your horizon.
Behind every moment lies a scientific wonder. I'm Kale, and welcome to SciCurios, where curiosity meets science.
Today, we're looking at the physics behind the ghost cities in the clouds. Most of us have seen the puddle on a hot road that's an inferior mirage. But a Fata Morgana is a much more sophisticated beast, a superior mirage. It requires a very specific setup called a temperature inversion. Usually, air gets colder as you go up. But in an inversion, a layer of warm air sits directly on top of a layer of freezing cold air. This creates a lens in the sky. Because cold air is denser than warm air, it bends light rays back down toward the Earth's surface. This atmospheric ducting allows light to follow the curvature of the Earth, essentially letting you see over the horizon. You aren't seeing a ghost. You're seeing a real city or island that is physically hidden behind the curve of the planet. So why does it look like a castle and not just a distant town? The Fata Morgana is notoriously unstable. As the air layers ripple, the image is stretched vertically, compressed, and even flipped upside down. Small rocks on a distant shore can be stretched into towers, and flat ice floes can look like high city walls. Your brain, which isn't used to light traveling in curves, tries to make sense of these stacked, vibrating shapes by turning them into something familiar, a skyline. This is exactly what fooled explorer John Ross in 1818, who discovered a mountain range in the Arctic that literally didn't exist. While the Arctic and the Sahara are famous for this, the Fata Morgana happens over water, too. It's the primary suspect behind the legend of the Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship seen floating high above the waves. In reality, it was likely just a normal ship below the horizon, whose image was lifted and distorted by the cold waters of the Atlantic. Even today, people in cities like Chicago sometimes see the skyline of Michigan, located 50 miles across the lake, mirrored in the clouds above the water. The Fata Morgana reminds us that our eyes don't just see the world, they interpret it. Sometimes, the lost city on the horizon is just a message from a place you can't see yet, carried to you on a wave of light. If you saw a floating city on the horizon, would you follow it to see where it leads, or would you trust the physics and stay put? Let me know in the comments.
Science is everywhere if you just know where to look. Thanks for watching SciCurious. Until next time.